All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I got the pleasure of having Jeremy with me. Actually, his name is Jeremy. We're both Jeremy. So you got J squared over here. That's when you get your best. So I invited Jeremy to talk to all of us, right, just to get an idea of different avenues of resources. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and kind of talk about what he does. But he's a huge resource for business customers of all kinds, right? So if you're looking for business lending, that's the guy. So, Jeremy, can you introduce yourself and just tell them what your name is?
Thank you so much, Jeremy. So, hi, everyone. My name is Jeremy WITLIN. I'm the president and owner of Benefit Mortgage, Inc. We're a full-service commercial mortgage and business loan brokerage firm serving nationally in the United States and international as well. So all the investments and everything that business owners may need for their business, any business loans that they need to keep running their business, and then also servicing investors throughout the U.S. Who want to buy multifamily and mixed-use properties and everything. So wide gamut.
So question for you, right? So what's the difference between you and a regular bank or a traditional bank? Like what is the benefit to a business customer going through you or going through a bank?
So good question. So there's a couple of different main differences that you would see between a bank and then going with myself as a mortgage broker. So mortgage brokers, as you know, some of the people in the audience may know, shop out for lending for you, process the loans, underwrite them, and brings it to a multitude of lenders. So to find the best rates, terms, and repayment schedules that somebody may need for their business or for whatever their objectives are. So when you go to a direct lender like a bank, that's all you have. So here's the menu. All we're serving is chicken for the night, and that's what you have for the night. So we give you the full menu to shop out from. So,
which I think is a huge, big difference, right? And I used to work in the financial industry and banking for over 12 years, and actually he used to work in banking as well, running his own shop. So with banking, I'm sure as a lot of people may know, you go to a bank, as you said, whatever's on the menu typically is what you have to choose from. And with that comes with a lot of limitations, right? Because a lot of business customers have different visions, right? And things that they're trying to accomplish. And the bank you go to may not have that appetite, but does not mean there's not lending available for whatever that aspiration or dream is that you need the money for. So can you give us an example of a customer you had and what kind of lending they were looking for and what you were able to do with them?
So it's kind of funny. So one of my biggest, leads that I get for referral sources is actually declined customers from banks.
Really?
So the loan officers actually call me and say, "Hey, Jeremy, I had to deny this client. Is it something that you can work with?" And I'm like, absolutely. So I work with over 150 lenders throughout the United States.
So time out.
Yep.
You work with how many banks?
150 lenders. So it's not just banks, Jeremy. We're dealing with banks, we're dealing with credit unions, we're dealing with private institutional money. So you think of hedge funds and like Wall Street, that have money to place, pension funds. We're working with hard money lenders, we're working with soft money lenders, and we're working with private individuals as well. So if you ever heard of the rich uncle that has a ton of money and he wants to lend it out and lend out his own money, those are the folks that I work with. And I just love it because, there's no conflict of interest, because my interest is getting the loan taken care of. I don't care if it's with Joe, Bob, Bank of America, whoever it is. I want to make you wealthy so that, you keep coming back and say, "Hey, Jeremy did such a good job. We're ready to buy the next thing, or we're next to grow." And, that's my motivation, is to, keep as much cash in your pocket, help you be as successful as you can, so that, hey, we can, for the next 30 years, keep building your empire and, rocketing and soaring up to the moon, So
what motivated you to start this business? Because obviously you've worked in banking as a bank manager for some time, working with business owners, working with, again, investors and all kinds of avenues. What motivated you to leave that financial industry and go this avenue?
So there was a couple of different things. I mean, I was one of the bankers that, for my bank, I had to deny loans, and, I always had a big heart, and I always wanted to help people. Even if I couldn't do it, I wanted to help people succeed. So I would refer out to my lenders that I worked with. And, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, you get frustrated because you know somebody's a good borrower. You know that they're honest. They pay their bills. Maybe they had, you know, something happened, you know, on their credit that was a mistake. But then now they're locked out of getting the lending because of that. So I said, you know, it was through those experiences and dealing with hundreds of clients, I was like, well, what if I'm the one that can go and take the loan instead of having only pitch for my lender who I'm working with, who's paying my W-2 salary? What if I could just take it to anywhere and I could work with anybody and I never have to turn away somebody and says, I'm sorry, my lender doesn't offer it. I can't help you. You know, good luck on your journey.
Wow.
So it's a lot of those great success stories that, you know, motivates me, and it's exciting, and everybody's different. I mean, you work with a bunch of people and, you know, it's like the color of the rainbow. There's wide spectrum. So
give us an example, right? For those out there who want to get an example of what are some things that you know you can get lending for?
Yeah, so I'll give you a perfect example. So I had a client who actually was referred to me from a credit union. They were declined for their loan, and they had a primo piece of commercial real estate right in downtown Boston. It was an art gallery and it was actually an attorney who owned it. And he got declined from the credit union because the property wasn't bringing in enough cash every month in rent to support the arbitrary metric that the bank wanted to qualify the loan. So, and the guy's his firm's very successful. He does a lot of real estate and his business is growing, and he got declined just because of that, because they refused to look at his personal income to help support, you know, the commercial real estate, because banks will always look at it and say, oh, well, if the real estate has a vacancy, oh, now it's not going to make the money, or it's not enough. We want enough cushion. So I was able to broker him out to another lender that I knew, got him a lower rate, got him a 25-year mortgage fixed for 5 years, and I got him at 3.75%. And I just said to the banker, I said, hey, this credit union declined him, but the guy makes over $400,000 per year.
Yeah.
Who cares if the real estate is only, you know, it's making, you know, if the mortgage is $1,000 and the real estate's making $1,100 a month and there's only that little $100 margin, who cares if it's only that, if the guy's bringing in so much? Absolutely. So we got him done, and he was very happy, and it's been a great referral source for me. Wow. So that's a real loan that I did in 2022.
Good. And there's so much more that he's done, and I've used him while I was working in the banking industry, and I still use him now that I'm a real estate advisor, right? And I come in contact with business owners, right, and all kinds of partners. But there's so many lending options. Even if you do get a decline elsewhere, there's so many things he can do. But that's a lot to unpack in one day. So, Jeremie, is there anything you want to leave us with? Because what we do want to do is build off of this. You know, we'll definitely invite Jeremie back to come and share about the different loan products they offer, different creative strategies he had to do to get other business owners lending, depending on if they're looking to purchase a property or get cash, or if they need to finance a job, whatever it may be. We'll get him back on there to kind of go over all those options. But Jeremie, is there anything you want to leave us with?
Yes. So good thing I always tell everybody is, just because you get declined at one lender, you know, it may not be an issue with your personal credit profile or whatever your loan application looks like. Always get a second opinion. So that's the biggest thing. You know, I know everybody loves Google and stuff, but there's lenders out there that Google doesn't know about because they only lend through a broker. So always get a second opinion. I always say, you know, use your trusted advisors, ask them for referrals. Those are always going to be your safest ways, because people's already vetted, your advisor's already vetted a lender that you've gone through or that you're going to potentially go through. So same thing with your agents, with your insurance agents, title companies, anything like that. Always get a second opinion.
Boom. Listen, coming to you guys. Have a good evening. We are out. The more you know. Let's elevate together.
Peace.